But if they cannot get Andor in that top 3 with 2 hours of a Star Wars property, they've screwed the pooch. I think they're screwed the pooch anyway, with the mere fact that they have to give the audience 2 hours of watch just to get it into the top 3. And I don't even know if they'll get it up there. I mean, they had what, an hour and a half of Daredevil, and they barely made it into the top 10. So I don't know what another half an hour is going to do for them.
Renegade Online.
Now, since then, we've had Echo and other garbage that nobody watched. Daredevil's probably even worse from what it sounds like. But here we go. Andor Season 2, a show that Disney has spent, according to their own financial returns in the United Kingdom, over $650 million to make. $650 million for 2 seasons of the show. That's Disney's numbers, not Valiant's. Andor Season 2 says, welcome to the rebellion. Hell of a coinky-dink.
This show got a lot of credit for something that I don't understand. I have a feeling that this Season 2 isn't going to fare very well. And we'll have to see where we end up with at the end of these numbers. But it'll be a strong indication of where I think Star Wars has gone and where I think the Mandalorian Grogu movie will end up.
Well, I think you're right. I think you're right. And I've had, look, some of the box office professionals out there that have X accounts that we follow each other back and forth and we talk. And I was, they're talking about all the big movies coming out next year, and they mentioned Doomsday and they mentioned Mandalorian and Grogu, and I'm like, I don't think that movie's going to be a real huge hit, or at least not one that, like, and basically I got the, oh, you got to be crazy response. I'm like, no, look at what happened after Mando Season 2. Dude, that was, by the time you realize Luke Skywalker came back at the end of Mando Season 2, that was December 24th. That was like Christmas Eve or something, or right 2 days before Christmas in 2020. That by the time Mandalorian and Grogu comes out, that moment is going to be over 5 years old. And nothing that's happened since then has kept the audience locked in to Star Wars. Nothing. Mando Season 3, audience fell off by 50% or more, if memory serves. So there's nothing leading into this. So they're going to have some issues. But in the case of the shows and the spend like they have with Andor Season 2, that much money, I mean, $650 million, that's roughly 6 Taylor Sheridan shows. Like 8-episode full seasons that are an hour a piece long.
Oh, yeah. And
6 of those.
Paramount's trying to cut his budgets, by the way, just FYI.
Well, yeah. The thing is that he can make 6 shows, and the audience for those would be somewhere to the neighborhood of, if you look at the charts, about 10 times on average what Andor Season 1 drew.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
1923 was,
2.8 billion minutes in its finale week.
Yeah, 14 million viewers in the first 7 days.
We showed this chart Sunday. Here it is. I was trying to pull it up.
It's insane. I was like, that's one show. That's one show.
2.8, and that was, again, it's an episodic release. So that was, now granted, I told people the last episode was like an hour and 40 minutes. It was a long final episode.
Yeah, but it's still a 41% increase.
It's still almost 3 billion minutes.
Yeah.
There's Disney. Look, once again, notice what's missing? Daredevil. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit about Daredevil. Nobody's watching Daredevil. The only people watching Daredevil right now are the ones covering it on YouTube, I think.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Yeah, I think Gary was covering it today. It's fucking crazy.
The only weeks that Daredevil showed up in the charts, it had 2 weeks in there where they released 2 episodes per. That's the only time it popped up in the charts, when it had more than 1 episode in a week. It's just because the viewership ain't there. So Disney loads the box with extra watch hours or watch available time and pops it up in the chart. Andor, I think, isn't Andor dropping the first, is it 3 episodes?
I think they're doing 3, 3, and 3, I think.
There you go.
Yeah.
3 episodes. 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Why is Disney doing that? Yeah, check that. I thought they were doing that with Daredevil. Maybe it's Andor I'm thinking of, that was going to release 2 or 3 episodes per week every week until it's exhausted. But
Okay, season 2 will be released in 3-episode batches. Each batch is set in a different year, timeline-wise.
okay, so they're batching them. All right.
Yeah, so each season of Andor is 12 episodes long, so they're gonna do it 4 times, I guess? That's nuts.
So they're going to drop 3 episodes in
Yeah.
4 successive weeks, or are we going to have a
Yeah.
break of several weeks between each drop
No,
of 3?
it looks like they're gonna just keep dropping them. Like April 22nd is the first date.
Yeah.
So this is wild. I mean, it's obvious they're trying to get some kind of notice in the ratings.
That's exactly it. Each of those episodes are probably, if I had to guess, Disney episodes are such crap. It's like you never can tell. They could be 30 minutes long. They could be 45 minutes long. They could be an hour. I have a feeling they're releasing 3 episodes. They're probably going to have about 2 hours of content per drop.
That would make sense, because aren't they like 40 minutes a pop?
Roughly. I mean, if they come in at 40 to 45 minutes a pop, you adjust time for people skipping 3 sets of credits at the end, or whatever. But yeah, let's call it 2 hours. Look, here's the point. Streaming originals film, right? If you look at most of this stuff, I mean, if you say like the average film coming out on Netflix or Prime that's new, that's proprietary content, let's say the average film is about 2 hours long. It might be a little bit less. But you get in a really crappy week, like literally nothing new big came out. This is rare that we see the originals film chart like this. That's this week. Okay. But nothing was there. I mean, look, Disney actually managed to chart something this week. Disney Plus, Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Road Trip. Great. It charted because there's literally nothing else out there.
Yeah. Well, and this is another bigger conversation, right? It's
look how
it's
well
the fact-
G20 did. I just want to say G20 knocked it out of the park, which I still haven't watched. And should I watch G20 to make fun of it? I don't have to go to the I know, but it's on Amazon Prime. I don't have to go to the theater like I did for Snow White. Should I watch G20?
Why are you inviting pain?
Because I can sit here on my sofa and scream at the TV as loud as I want during it. I couldn't do that during Snow White. At least this could be cathartic. I had half a mind to do it this weekend because it just looked so bad. It looks so awful that I almost feel like I've got to watch it. I've got to watch it because it just looks so. Have you watched it?
No, dude. Nobody could pay me to do that.
It's one of those things. I've got like a morbid sense of curiosity about how much this movie
You know
is.
what? You were probably one of those guys watching that phallic rocket take off with the fake astronauts in it.
The 5 chicks that went up there, they didn't even do any laundry.
No,
they didn't do dishes.
They didn't make
sandwiches.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I was like, well, what's the point? Back to this real quick. So here's the thing. Back to Andor. Went off on a tangent. 1923, right? That's still going to be. This was the finale week. It's still going to be on there, and when we get the new numbers from the 11th to the 18th. So tomorrow that will close. 1923 will probably still have 1 billion minutes in there. I bet. We saw Landman on Paramount Plus linger in this chart for 6 weeks. It was in the top 10 for 6 weeks after the finale.
Yeah.
Didn't even have a new episode. 6 weeks, no new episodes. It was still charting in the top 10. Disney Plus could barely get Daredevil in the top 10 the week it premiered because they loaded the box with episodes, with extra episodes. This is what they're going to do with Andor. It's so embarrassing for Disney. They can't get anything to really chart and stick. Nothing of value. And they're spending 2 and 3 times the amount of money that everybody else is spending for the same shows or the same type of show. This is another thing that Wall Street doesn't freaking understand. And again, I sound like a broken record, but we have to keep explaining it because we know as we do, more and more people hear it, and eventually it gets up the line because we know we've pushed some things into Disney before and into look, the whole thing about Disney's box office collapse in 2023, the $1 billion that they lost during that string of films into 2023. We made it to Fox News with that one, right? Y'all have seen the clip. I don't need to play it again right now, But the point is that this is why we keep repeating this. Because Disney is ridiculous with this. They cannot get anything out of the gate, and they're spending a ton of money on this stuff. So yes, Andor should chart. In theory, with a roughly 2-hour premiere of Andor, and I don't know what else is premiering at that point, but if they cannot get Andor in that top 3 with 2 hours of a Star Wars property, they've screwed the pooch. I think they're screwed the pooch anyway, with the mere fact that they have to give the audience 2 hours of watch just to get it into the top 3. And I don't even know if they'll get it up there. I mean, they had what, an hour and a half of Daredevil, and they barely made it into the top 10. So I don't know what another half an hour is going to do for them. Oh, by the way, you see that show culture? Number 4 on that list. What's that say? It says Mobland.
Oh, that's new. That's a new one.
And it's really awesome.
It's supposed to be amazingly
and
good.
It's another Paramount Plus show that's been let into from 1923.
Nice.
Because they premiered it the week, the first episode of Mobland came out the week before 1923 had the finale. And let me tell you what, Pierce Brosnan, Patty Considine, Helen Mirren, Tom Hardy, those are the 4 leads in that show. It is a powerhouse cast. And it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I hear people raving about it. When I get back, I will.
It's going to be number 1 on the chart in the next week.
I'll be playing catch up. So
yeah, it's going to be number 1 on the chart in the next week, or number 2.
That doesn't surprise me. Everything that's coming out of Paramount Plus right now, because of the way that they're allowing the creators to write and produce these shows.
Yeah,
they're winners, dude.
They're gold.
Yeah, it's like HBO used to be, right?
Yeah.
And then HBO decided to suck hind tit. So
Paramount Plus is printing money with what they're doing on Paramount Plus. I think Paramount Plus is definitively, it is the most underrated of the streaming services. And for $5-6 a month that you pay for the base tier, I have the $12 a month Paramount Plus package because I did the Paramount Plus with Showtime. So I get Paramount Plus and all the Showtime channels with it. So it's a lot of value in that $12. But even I'm going to tell you, for the shows they have on there in the library that you get access to, I think that is one of the best values, bar none, in streaming. And they managed to produce original content that when it hits, it's like everything is a massive success. They're getting huge audiences. I mean, you look at what 1923, the kind of audiences they're getting. I mean, that's approaching Game of Thrones levels, guys, is what we're talking about here. I mean, we're talking about massive, massive, massive audiences here. It's pushing up into that realm. Disney should have no problem doing that with a big 600, or let's split the baby in half here and say they did 300 million for the first season and 300 million, which is probably about right for the second season, maybe more. But you spend $300 million on a big Star Wars production TV show, and you're telling me that you have to shove 3 episodes together just to hopefully make it into the top 10 of a weekly ratings chart. That's pathetic.
Well, it shows you the loss of value of the biggest brand on the planet.
It's basically what it boils down to. That's for sure. Yeah. We'll see what happens. I'm going to keep an eye. We'll get another Luminate chart hopefully on Friday, and then next week on the, what did we say, the 22nd?
Yeah.
Is that a week from?
Yeah.
A week from yesterday, right? It's going to be a Tuesday show.
Yeah, and then, well, yeah, it wants to take advantage of as much chart time as it possibly can. So, but yeah, then it's 3 episodes every.
Well, it'll be
week.
Broken actually. No, because the Luminate chart, it ends on Thursday night. So it'll be just like Skeleton Crew. They'll get Tuesday night, the night it premieres, Wednesday, and then Thursday till midnight. That's it. Then it'll bleed over, and then you'll split to the next week. So they'll probably the second week it comes out. Might not chart the first week, but the second week they'll have maybe a lot of spillover, people coming in. Now, the thing is for them, for the Nielsen chart, which doesn't come out for a month after they actually chart it, the Nielsen chart runs from Monday through Sunday. So they'll catch the whole week, right?
Yeah.
But Luminate will split the week. I mean, and look, it is what it is. And we always take that into account. Even when Daredevil did pop up in the chart in this, I think it was the second week because of that split. When it popped up into the top 10, it shows you what it did the previous week. So then you can add those two together, and it still wasn't that great. It's like, I don't know. Like I said, look, Andor might be a big surprise. People might really get into it. You got Alan Tudyk, K2SO is back in the cast, which should be a big help. We've talked about that before. And maybe there'll be more action. There'll be more interest. Hopefully it won't start off really, 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 really slow like the first one did that everybody complained about. I think that was a big problem. So we'll see. Disney has not had a big win of any kind with Star Wars since Mando season 2. It's television that not many people are watching or nobody is watching, like Skeleton Crew, and especially when they're spending an average of $200 million a show. It's just embarrassing. It's embarrassingly bad.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.